Okay, welcome back. In this video, we're still building the power pod for the FT Flyer, and where the bamboo skewers go through, we're gonna need to reinforce the holes there. So the first thing I'm gonna do is prepare the bamboo that we're gonna use. Now the bamboo I'm using is right at 1/8 inch. Okay. And I'm hoping it's slightly less. If I need the 9/64, I've got a 9/64 drill bit. But I'm gonna try the 1/8 drill bit to drill it. And you need 3 pieces, and so I've got 2 8-inch pieces here. They're slightly less than 8 inches, but they'll do. So I'm gonna cut them in half. First off, I'm gonna find the midpoint here. Okay, and measure that. Right there, and I've already marked the other one. So what I'm going to do is cut those. So I'm just going to take one of my older razor knives and find where I need to cut it, and just roll it as you roll the knife on it. Okay. And that will just score it enough, and once it's scored, you can break it right there, and that's about 4 inches. It's actually 3 3/4 right now, but that's close enough. And I'm going to leave one point sharp, okay? That's to poke it through. Now on the other one, I'm going to cut off the tip. Okay. Just break that tip off and throw it away. And cut it in half. Okay. So now I've got 3 that are the same size. So I got 3 pieces. Those will be for the 3 holes here. 2 where the gear go. 1 that holds on the fuselage. And the other one for the tip, we're going to use to poke it through and use it sort of like a drill, okay, from both sides, because you got holes on both sides, so there's no sense trying to find the other side there. I'm going to poke this through, okay. Why you need to have the marks on the outside here. So you're just using the sharp bamboo. We'll get 6 holes poked into the side of the power pod. Okay, so that looks good. While we're doing this, be sure you got the detail glue gun warming up, because we're going to need to use that in a few minutes. Okay, so now we've got our 3 pieces of bamboo. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so now it's time to excuse me. Now it's time to use the plastic piece. This is like 3/64 plastic that you use for plexiglass, that you use for picture frames and so forth. It's got a covering on it, and I'm going to just remove the covering from both sides here. Okay, that gets in the way when we get ready to drill it. Okay, get rid of that. Now you need 6 pieces of this. So the first thing I'm going to do is measure about 3/4 of an inch and mark it. Okay, so I want a piece that's going to be 8 inches wide, okay, and about 3/4 of an inch long. I'm going to take my not so sharpest razor blade and score it. Three scores ought to be enough. And it'll just break off. There we go. Okay. So now I've got a 3/4 inch by 8 inch long piece. And I'm going to divide that into 6 parts so I can get 6 pieces out of it. Best way to do that is with a metric side of the ruler. So that means it's about 200 millimeters long. So I'm going to find the center, which is 100 millimeters. Mark that. And then a third of that is 133 millimeters. So I'll mark that. And then 66 millimeters. And then 133 millimeters and 166 millimeters. Okay. So that's where, these don't have to be precise, okay. I'm just going to draw those across like that. Okay. So there's my 6 pieces. And I'm not going to cut them off yet because I want to drill the holes in them. And now 4 of the holes, if you note, this piece of plastic is going to sit down in here like this. And so 4 of the holes are going to be at the edge, and 2 of the holes will be at the center of the plastic. So, and when I drill those out, for the edge ones here, I'm going to drill it so that the bamboo will be all the way up like this, but I'm going to break out the plastic so you can slide it over the bamboo. So let me get my drill. Let me get my drill bit. And just by eyeball, you use a block of 2x4 block of wood here that I used to drill on. So I'm gonna okay, we're good to go. Okay, so you can see I've drilled the hole there right toward the edge. Now I'm going to use a drill to break that out. Okay, so now the piece of bamboo, it will slide over that, hopefully. No, it's not going to. Okay, I got to break that out a little bit. Okay. There we go. So that bamboo needs to be able to slide on and slide through it, because we're going to put the bamboo in here like this and then put this over the bamboo and glue it. So I'm going to do that 3 more times and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got the 4 holes cut out towards the edge here. Be careful, I've got a slight little crack there, you can see that. If you force it too hard, it will crack. That crack's going to be okay, it's not going anywhere. And if these don't break out well enough, you can use your razor knife and just cut a little chip out and it will be fine. So in the last 2 holes, I'm going to drill them in the center, so we won't have the same problem here. I'm going to drill these last 2 in the center. Just to make sure, I'm going to put these bamboos through, and they go through fine. So the 1/8 was the right size. All right. So now I'm going to, now that it's easier to handle the one long piece when you're doing all this, now I'm going to cut this into the 6 parts, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and we're going to go ahead and glue all this together. So I'm going to start with putting the bamboo skewers, two in the front where the landing gear is going to go. I'm going to put those through like that. Okay. And the other one. Alright. So now I'm going to just make sure that the each of the 4 pieces will fit over the bamboo without a problem in there. And okay, so they all fit nicely. Now it's time to glue. Now, when you glue these, don't use very much glue. A little dab will do you. All right, so we're going to dab a little glue on this. Just 1, 2 little dabs toward the top. Put it on the bamboo and press it and hold it. Now this isn't going to take long to dry, so the plastic is all the way down in there, okay, and that should work fine. Do one more. Just a tiny little dab, 2 tiny little dabs actually. Okay. Now, because I'm putting the glue up toward the top of it, the bamboo isn't going to get any glue on it, so it won't get stuck in there. Okay. And then we'll do the other side. 1 little dab, 2 little dabs. Stick it on the bamboo and hold it in place for a second. And the last one. Okay. So now those aren't going to go anywhere, and that will make sure that the paper and the foam around where you put these through in and out, and the pressure of the landing gear and all that won't break out that foam and paper. Lastly, I'm going to put the other piece of bamboo through the back here that holds the fuselage on. But I'm going to glue these on the outside, and the reason is the fuselage sort of just barely fits in here, and if you put it on the inside it may not fit as well, so I'm going to glue these 2 to the outside. Now we're going to wrap this in the tape anyways, and so it's going to be hidden, it's not going to be seen, it's going to look fine. All I need to do is make sure that both of these are going to fit on the bamboo well, and they will. So now that's ready, I'm going to go ahead and put, again, a small dab on each side and slide it over the bamboo and hold it in place. Okay. Now if it's not perfectly straight, doesn't matter. So there it is. We'll do the other side. I'll show you that to you a little better. That was a little rushed. Alright, 1 little dab, 2 little dabs. Put it on the bamboo. There we go. Hold in place. And there you can see it's just sort of sitting there like that. Now that one's in place. And I'll spin the bamboo to make sure it's okay. So that now that when you put that bamboo in, you're going through the plastic first and then out the other side. And so as long as they spin nice and easily, then it's going to work just fine. This one's going to get pulled out quite often, not a lot, but quite often, where this one is going to be pretty well fixed for the landing gear once you get the landing gear together. Okay, so that's how you reinforce the holes. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.